Okay, welcome to Miss Sussman's class. Make sure that you have pencil and paper before you get started. Our essential question is, how can you add and subtract fractions with like denominators? And I know we talked about this in the beginning of the chapter, but now we're going to kind of take it a step further. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. So let's take a look at adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. So let's start with addition. So here we have 3/8 plus 6/8. And as we discussed earlier in the chapter, you just add the numerator, which would be the 3 and the 6, and you get 9, and then your denominator of 8 stays the same. Now, if you're looking at this answer, this should look just like what we did in class for 6.8. You've got a fraction greater than 1, don't you? And what they want you to do is write it as a mixed number. So you would divide, and 8 goes into 9 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. You've got a remainder of 1. So your answer is 1 and 1/8. So they don't want you to leave it as 9/8. They want you to write it as a fraction greater than, or as a mixed number instead of just a fraction greater than 1. Okay? And so that's kind of the next step. We know you know how to add the fractions. Now you've got to take them and rename them. So let's look at subtraction. Now with subtraction, you're not going to have a fraction greater than 1 because you're subtracting. But let's see what we do get. Okay, so we have 4/9 minus 1/9. And that is going to give us, we subtract 4 minus 1, which is 3. And then the denominator stays the same. Now if you're looking at this, you should be able to put this in simplest form. I'm looking at it and I see a 3 and a 9. And I know that 3 times 3 is 9, which means that I can reduce this fraction. If I divide it by 3, I get 1/3. Okay, so we're not just adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. We're taking it to that next step and either writing it as a mixed number or putting the fraction in simplest form. Sometimes you may do both, and you'll see what I mean as we go through this lesson. Okay, let's take a look at some more problems. Okay, here we have 7/10 plus 8/10, and I'm going to add the 7 and the 8. That gives me 15. I keep my denominator the same. Now you should be thinking to yourself that this is a fraction greater than 1, and you would be correct because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So I am going to divide, and I get 1 with a remainder of 5/10. So 1 and 5/10, but I'm not done, am I? I can reduce 5/10, can't I? Because 5 is a factor of 10, so I can divide my fraction by 5 and get 1/5. So my final answer is 1 and 1/5. Okay, that's what I meant before when I said sometimes you'll have to write it as a mixed number and reduce it. Let's look at another one. 7/6 plus 5/6 equals 12/6. And I don't even have to divide. I know 6 goes into 12 2 times. So it's just going to be 2 with no fraction. And that can happen sometimes as well. All right, let's take a look at some examples of subtraction. Oh, I guess we're going to do both. I feel like we already did this, but we didn't. All right, 3/5 plus 4/5 equals 7/5. And when I do, that's 1 and 2/5. Now 2/5 is in its simplest form, and I know that because 2 and 5 are both prime numbers, which means that they can't divide evenly. There's no divisibility rule for 2 and 5. And then when I go to do subtraction, 7 minus 5 is 2. I carry the denominator over, 2/8. Now this one, 2 is a factor of 8, which means I can divide by 2, and I get 1/4. Okay, if that didn't make sense, you're going to want to rewind and watch some of these examples again. The next slide is going to be your homework slide. Okay, you guys got a sneak preview of this in class today, but here's your homework. It's 17 twelfths plus 13 twelfths, and then 5 sixteenths minus 1 16th. Okay, good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, you can bring in your rainbow looms tomorrow. Have a good night.